the story of Superphone and how I marketed Superphone in the US. Okay, so this is how we started. First, we put an ad in New York Times. We put a classified ad in New York Times, and that cost us $1,500. There was one email in response to that ad. That's all. And that guy also didn't buy anything. Then I was in the US, and I went to a cousin of mine and I designed a flyer which said call Pakistan for 5 cents a minute. At that time it was 50 cents a minute to call Pakistan. That's 1999 or 2000. So I made that flyer and I went outside Houston Mosque and I gave them out. 5 cent Pakistan baat kar lo, 5 cent Pakistan baat kar lo, 5 cent Pakistan. Then I saw that there was a local newspaper, local Urdu newspaper, which was being distributed in the same way, but there was no flyer, right? It was a newspaper. So what I did was I called them up and I said I want to put an ad, and they said कि जी $600 का ad होएगा, $1,000 का ad होएगा. अच्छा, चलो हम लगाते हैं. क्वार्टर पेज नहीं लगाते, हमें छोटा सा ad, क्वार्टर पेज ad लगा दो. I don't know what happened. Either I did the negotiation on the phone. I said, I'll give you an ad. However, I will give you a quarter page ad and one full page ad. Now I am a single person. I'm a single person selling the Superphone. There's nobody else. There's no customer service. There's just Suzanne working part-time, after school, shipping boxes. And at that time, actually, Suzanne was not even working anymore. And this was in Alabama. I was living in Atmore, Alabama. So there was, I think, one other woman, I can't remember her name, Gina. She was helping us out. So I let her go, but I was now on my own selling these boxes. So I called the newspaper and I said, I will pay you $2,000, but I want quarter page ad. I don't remember the exact amounts, but we put quarter page ads and full page ads. Now when you put a full page ad in the newspaper and somebody opens the newspaper and says, oh, how, I mean, full page ad of a product, the impression they got was, wow, it must be a big company. And the phone number was 1877 long distance, which I bought for $1,500. The phone number itself, which I don't know if you guys are not even using it. So I put that, I put Superphone website, 5 cents to call to Pakistan, and there you go. And people started thinking, wow, this must be a big company. And the ad price was $1,400 for one box, right? So the impression was important. So the impression the customer was, it's a big company, it's a toll-free number, you know, let's go and buy it for $1,400. So people started buying a few boxes. I started selling a few boxes that way. And I was not in New York. Most people using that newspaper were in New York, Urdu Times, or it was Pakistan Post, either one. Most people were in New York, but I was not in New York. I was in Atmore, Alabama. So if anybody called me and said, we want to see you, I would say, sorry, we're in Atmore, Alabama. You can come in if you want. So, you know, how big is the community? It's a small company, it's a new company, I didn't lie anything. But the impression they were getting from the full page ad was, wow. And the other people were giving like measly small ads for the same price. All I did was I negotiated with the guy, okay, dude, you know, I want to put a full page ad, but I guarantee for the next 3 months. And his problem was that he needed funds at that time. So he said, okay, done. Usne kaha, his cost nikal aayi. He didn't worry about it. So now I was having full page ads of the newspapers. So that's how I started selling Superphones. And then what happened was that ZTV called me. And ZTV said, you know, you're putting full page ads. Why don't you put an ad in the TV? And I said, well, I don't think I can afford TV ads. So they said, well, how much can you afford? I said, how much can you give me? So they gave me a deal for $4,500 for 3 months for maybe 12 ads a month. And I signed up. I said, okay, done. Let's make an ad. So I called Jamal. At that time, I made virtual phone line, and the phone calls were going to Pakistan already. I didn't have any help. I was the only one. And then I was in a grocery store and then I found a Pakistani person. I said, would you like to work for me? So I hired his mother to work for me to answer phone calls because I had absolutely no help. Then I made a jugaad that I was able to transfer calls through. I took a PBX, I took some devices, I turned them together, and I started sending calls to Pakistan. There was no way to get DID numbers on device. So I took phone lines and I forced them to come to Pakistan over devices. So that was the first time ever that a physical device was used to transfer phone calls from one country to another country over IP. And that's how we started. I hired Jamal Bhai, he hired some other guy, Farhan Sheikh, and that's how we started the call transfers to Pakistan as a call center. But the ZTV ad, this is something very interesting. What happened was that ZTV did not have enough ads, so they put my ad 90 times a month instead of 9 times a month. So what happened was my phone was constantly ringing from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the evening, because it was going on California time and Eastern time, and my phone, I was like this all the time. Hello, okay. And what we did was we changed the pricing. We said it's not $1,400 anymore. It's $28 a month for 4 years. So you pay me a down payment of $200, and then we charge you $28 a month. And that's how we started. The phone calls were like crazy. Did not stop. So we sold maybe $100,000 worth of phones in a month. A lot of phones. So that's how Superphone started.
software
Okay.